Your company approved 3 AI pilots last year. One of them is still running, but nobody can tell you what it returned. And the worst part isn't the money you spent, it's the meeting where your COO looked at the board and said, "We're making progress on AI," knowing well that the chatbot nobody uses is still counting as an active initiative. And everybody in the room knows it, by the way, but nobody would say that out loud. Does that sound familiar? This is what AI adoption failure actually looks like inside a business. It's not loud, it's not obvious, but it's there. And it's not an AI problem. I call it a diagnosis problem. And it's happening inside almost every mid-market company right now. 10, 30, 50 million in revenue, spending on AI with no structured way to know if it's going to work. I've spent the last decade running operations inside companies like yours. The last audit I delivered, we were 4 weeks inside a 200-person organization and found all 4 of these failures that I'm going to talk about. Same patterns I see every time. Different company, same outcome. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one of these 4 failures is bleeding your AI budget right now and what to do about each one before your next budget cycle. Most companies think they're running AI initiatives. What they're actually running is a series of disconnected experiments. They never compound because there's no system underneath them. And without a system, you and I both know nothing scales, right? And that's the real issue. It's not the tools, not the vendors, not even the budget. It's the structure or the lack of it. These are the 4 failures that show up every time an AI initiative breaks. Across industries, across company sizes, across use cases. And if AI isn't producing ROI in your business right now, you're dealing with at least one of them. In most cases, it's more than one. And they stack faster than most people expect. If you're watching this and thinking, I need someone to diagnose this inside my organization, there is a link in the description below to book a call, but let's keep going. Here's what's happened in the last company I audited. Their leadership approved an AI tool to automate finance workflows. That was the brief, automate finance. But here's the problem. Nobody asked the person who closes the books every month what finance workflows actually means at the task level. Nobody sat down with the controller and said, "Walk me through your Tuesday." And that's exactly where it breaks. So the tool got deployed and the finance team went back to their spreadsheets within 2 weeks. Not because they were resistant to change, but the tool was solving a problem they didn't even have in the first place. The real bottleneck was 3 steps upstream. There was manual data reconciliation between the ERP and the new CRM, which nobody had mapped. The tool automated the wrong thing, and now it sits there technically live, practically dead, but still showing up in the quarterly AI progress report. This is the pattern every time. Leadership picks a tool, the tool lands on top of a process nobody is diagnosed in the first place, and 6 months later, your CFO is staring at a line item, wondering what it bought. See, you may be thinking, why not define the problem better? No, that's not the fix. I call it a bumper sticker advice. The fix is to interview operators before you touch a single tool or software. Ask the person who's running fire at 7 a.m. what broke overnight. Ask the person re-entering data between 2 systems why this handoff even exists in the first place. Map the workflow as it actually happens, not the version that's in your org chart, the real version. Because that's where the leverage is. The diagnosis comes first, the tool comes after. Every time that order is reversed, you end up in a pilot purgatory. Failure number 2. Boston Consulting Group published a number that should be on every mid-market executive's wall. 10% of AI adoption effort is the technology. 20% is deployment. 70% is change management. 70%. And in every company I worked inside, that number is generous. It's probably higher. But here is what it looks like in practice. In the audit I just delivered, one of the biggest findings wasn't technical. It was completely behavioral. The call center manager was handling weekend volume alone manually, because the automation that was built for his workflow did not account for the exceptions he deals with every Saturday morning. Escalated cases, edge cases, the stuff that doesn't fit the rules. So he built a workaround in a spreadsheet that nobody in leadership knew about. And every Monday, the automated workflow picked back up as if nothing had actually happened because he filled the gaps by hand over the weekend. This is where most systems quietly fail. And that's not a technology failure, by the way. That's what happens when you deploy a tool without sitting in the operator's chair first, without understanding what their week actually looks like, not their job description version, but the real version. And the fix is unglamorous. You have to interview the people who'll use the tool before you build it. You'll have to map their actual workflow, including the workarounds, and design the automation around how they actually work, not how leadership thinks they work. See, change management isn't a phase you add after deployment. It's the work that determines whether deployment survives contact with reality, right? Okay, failure number 3, your data isn't ready. This one is very quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It just slowly makes everything worse. And by the time you notice it, it's already too expensive. 78% of employees are already using AI tools. Their companies just don't track them. And that's not just a security risk. That's fragmented data flowing through fragmented systems with no governance, no consistency, and no audit trail. And for a mid-market company heading into budget season, that's a problem your CFO doesn't even know that it exists yet. Because on the surface, everything looks normal. The variance report looks fine, the chart of accounts reconciles, but underneath, 3 departments are feeding data into 3 different AI tools with 3 different assumptions about what the inputs even mean in the first place. That's where things start to drift. In the last audit we ran, I found 5 separate AI tools being used across the organization. None of them were sanctioned. None of them were talking to each other. None of them were producing outputs that could be validated against a single source of truth. See, the fix isn't a vendor purchase. No platform is going to solve that for you. That is internal work. You need a data inventory before you have an AI strategy. What systems produce data, what format the data is in, who touches each piece of the data, where it goes, how clean it is, how often is it updated. That's not exciting. Nobody puts "we audited our data architecture" on LinkedIn on a Friday post, right? But without it, every AI tool you deploy is building on a foundation that's made purely of sand. And when the board asks why the pilot didn't scale, this is the answer that nobody wants to admit. Okay, failure number 4, you're measuring nothing. Only 19% of companies have integrated AI beyond basic experimentation. But if you looked at LinkedIn, you would think every company on the planet was 6 months into full-scale transformation, right? That's the gap. It's perception versus reality. It comes down to one thing. Nobody defined what success actually looks like before they started. In the last audit I delivered, the team had been running an AI-assisted intake process for 4 months. And when I asked them what the impact it had, the answer was, "It's been great." And that's where it stops. When I asked for the number, how many hours saved per week, what is the error rate reduction, processing time change, nobody had an answer. 4 months of great with 0 measurement. And without measurement, there is no progress. It's just pure activity, right? And now I want you to contrast that with what happens when you measure from day 1. In that same audit, we identified a data entry workflow costing the company 22 hours per week at a fully loaded FTE cost of $87 per hour. If you do the math, that's close to $100,000 a year in a single workflow. We automated the structured portions. Within 30 days, the team reclaimed 14 of those 22 hours. Now that's measurable. And that's what goes in the board deck. That's what earns the next round of budget. The companies that win with AI, they don't just implement, they quantify. Every workflow gets a dollar figure attached before the tool even gets deployed. Every automation gets a success metric before it goes live. And every quarterly review shows the delta, not it feels better. But here is what changed and here is what it's worth. See, if you can't put a number on it, your CFO cannot defend it in the budget season. And what your CFO cannot defend, it doesn't survive. So 4 failures: wrong starting point, change management gap, data chaos, and measurement failure. Every mid-market company I've audited so far has at least 2 of these running simultaneously. Most of them have 3, and they compound very fast, each one making the next one harder to see and more expensive to fix. See, the companies that actually are winning with AI, they're not starting with the tools. They're not starting with vendors either. Definitely not with the demos. They're starting with a 4-week diagnosis of how work actually moves through the business down to the task level. They put dollar figures on the plan. They build a roadmap that earns trust one quick win at a time. If you want that done inside your organization, we run a structural AI audit that maps exactly where the ROI lives and builds the implementation roadmap that your leadership team can improve. The link to book the call is going to be in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.